Welcome to the Self Reality Podcast, a show where we like to talk all things reality TV, the good, the bad, the outrageous, and all of our associated feelings about them. I'm your host, Angie, and today we are here to talk the finale, Amazing Race Canada, Season 11, Episode 10. And
Episode
I'm
10.
here, Episode 10, finale. And I'm here with my brother, co-host, extraordinaire podcaster, Nick Hanlon. Welcome.
Hello.
Let's go.
Let's go.
But before we get going, please go ahead, like, share, subscribe, do all those great things. While you're at it, head on over to Nick's podcast, one of the two or both, the Dirty Glass Podcast. Booze reviews for the unrefined with Nick and Danny. They rate drinks and talk shit. And then after that, go on over to Kayfabe Wrestling Talk with handsome Nick Hanlon and Matthew Barnaby, where they talk about wrestling the way it should be talked about.
If you think I'm wrong, then you're wrong.
Okay, there you go. So like and subscribe, watch
Usually
over there.
how it works.
Exactly. But stick around
I'm
here
always
first.
wrong, so.
But stick around here while we talk about the very last episode. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a whole thing of The Amazing Race Canada. I haven't watched. I actually, this is the first season I've ever watched.
First Canadian one I watched.
So this is the first Canadian. So let's get into it. Finale. Finale. Emotions are high. We're starting off flying out of, I think, Pearson, right? Or no, we're flying to Pearson. So we're flying to Pearson from Newfoundland.
Oh, they're flying too? Right.
Yeah, right? Because the last leg, it was Newfoundland. Poor Ika and Dimitri got eliminated, and we have just the four teams. And Nippy and Magoo are in the first place. So they basically have Newfoundland to Toronto, and then they have like these tiny little flights, 2 flights going to Collingwood, Ontario, which is where we end the race.
Collingwood, interesting.
Interesting choice. Didn't know that they had an airport, but I looked it up. They do have a tiny little airport. So there you go.
It's a big ski town, obviously.
Right, Blue Mountain, which I've been to one time years and years and years ago. So it's already all, so there's 2 flights, right, to Collingwood. And I think it's the same kind of deal. They're 15 minutes apart. So we're really starting to level playing field. But Nippy and Magoo and Eby and Blake are on flight 1. And then Jesse and Jonathan.
We mention Eby and what's his name getting in a fight over the cab for a second.
Well, it's actually Nippy and Magoo and Jesse and Jonathan. I'm about to get to that because what's interesting is. No, it's once they get to the airport, you have Eby and Blake, Nippy and Magoo on the first, Jesse, Jonathan, Grace and Joe on the second flight. But what's interesting about them getting the cab, is it at Pearson? Maybe it is at Pearson. You might be right. But it's actually Jesse and Jonathan. It's all this. They're all there at the same time trying to get a cab. No, it's Pearson. It's Pearson because Jesse and Jonathan go and line up. And I wanted to ask you about this. So they go line up at the cab line where they say to the concierge guy or whatever, like, get me a cab. Nippy and Magoo just like book it and just hail a cab.
Mm-hmm.
Fair or not fair?
I mean, there's no rules at Pearson that say you can't do that.
I think it was fair.
I mean, Pearson's a disaster when you just go without being in a race. So generally speaking, to get a cab, it's a mosh pit.
I feel like we've probably done that before and just like hailed the cab ahead of everybody when there was a huge lineup. Because sometimes
I usually get an Uber, but then that area is a disaster as well.
Pre-Uber days, you had to go and like stand in line. It was a disaster. So I actually thought it was a good idea what Nippy and Magoo did.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Totally. So then they're all going in these tiny airplanes to the roadblock. But that's the most tense part, I think. Well, there's some other tense parts, but between teams, that was tense. Jesse and Jonathan were pretty mad. They're like, well, we're lined up for a cab. And they're like, sorry, man, it's a race. Boom, boom, gets in. What are they going to do, right? And now we go to the Collingwood grain terminals for the first ever, Nick. It's the first ever double roadblock. What do you think about this one?
Well, I assume the plane had to be close to Pearson. Was there an airport that did they go to Buttonville or something and then fly from there? Like, where are those little tiny planes taking off from to go to Collingwood? I know you're past that, but I'm like, I'm so confused on where they did that. Because they had to drive somewhere and race and put their names on the thing.
That's where you're right, actually. They were all there at the same time at Pearson because I think they were all in the same flight, but I suspect maybe they went to either Buttonville or Billy Bishop or something. Anyway, we digress.
They flew to somewhere.
So they went somewhere, fly to Collingwood in a tiny little airplane, and now they all have to get to the abandoned grain terminals, and there's like a roadblock, so it's go up or go down. What would you have picked without knowing, up or down?
I probably would have picked down without knowing, but I don't know if I could do the up one even.
Well, at first I thought I would have picked down, because like up can be scary and hot, you know what I mean? But then when I saw it, I would have preferred to do the up one. And for you, if we were like running the race together, you could have done the down one, because the down one, pretty dark.
Yeah,
pretty dark, a little scary. And
difficult.
claustrophobic. It looked very difficult. And it was a huge maze. I mean, I think we would have pulled it through for either one. Well, poor Magoo, when he was trying to climb that ladder, he's like that's a tough rope ladder to have to pull yourself up. Like,
rope ladders are hard.
They're really hard. So I think both would have been very difficult and kind of scary. But personally, if I had to pick one, knowing now what they are, I would have gone the up one. I think that would have been a little less scary for me. Just the rope ladder would have been brutal. But I would rather do that than have to run those dark, gross mazes looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather do down if I had a choice. But you just pick one.
You would just pick. So if you didn't know, what would you pick, up or down, though? That's what I would like.
Probably would have picked up.
I know, and I probably would have picked down, and I'd been like, bleep, right? God.
I think I probably went up.
It was a huge maze, so they had to like use a black light and scan like immense amounts of like walls in the dark. But I did feel a bit better because they did have a light, so they weren't in total darkness like sometimes.
They made it look like it at the beginning that it was total darkness, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. So I actually think I could have handled it. It would have just.
It might have been easier for them if it was total darkness, because they would have been able to see those glow in the dark things a little better.
Well, and it was interesting that you had to find combinations, like numbers that aligned with like a different shape. But if another team found those 3 shapes first, you were out of luck, which really, really messed up. Well, it messed up EB and Blake a lot. I think this is kind of what. But I almost
Skippy
think
and Magoo have messed them up at the end.
Nippy and Magoo.
Oh, yeah, Nippy.
I mean, Jesse and Jonathan, listen, they've caught up, despite losing the cab and whatever. Like, they come in first. Grace and Joe second, and then and both of what the shapes that Jesse and Jonathan and Grace and Joe found, EB missed 2 times. Like, he had both of the same number, like the same shapes as them. So then he had to find the last one. And what was interesting is Nippy accidentally, so Nippy had found all 3 of the, I can't remember if it was a star or whatever. She had found all 3, and she got one wrong. She messed up the number, and she ends up giving it to EB, and then has to go and start again. And she has a that's like one of the biggest meltdowns I've actually seen all season.
Yeah, she flipped out.
Well, she was like, I'm walking home and whatever. And here's what I have to say. Magoo, what a sweetheart. He was calm, supportive, just, you can do it. Like, he didn't even get snippy at all. Like, he didn't get any kind of tone. I think he handled it really well. I thought that was a really supportive husband. Like, and I was pretty impressed with that, because it's high pressure. What do you think?
He handled it well. She had the prey on tobacco.
Yeah, she
handled it very well.
I thought
he's definitely the calm one in the relationship.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
Generally, yeah, and I was just impressed.
She's kind of flipped out a few times.
Yeah, I think she's just high energy and just gets frustrated quickly. Yeah, she's just the what's the word? I can't think of the word. She pulls it together. She finishes it, and I was like, again, I get very emotional. Like, I love just to see that sort of human spirit, like, sort of overcome, even though they're probably, you don't know if someone else is going to screw something up. Like, they kept going. They didn't give up. They didn't they
could have been hours behind.
They could have been, but they still did it. My point is, she finished it. They went to the next one, which is the take the cake, which was a bit of a throwaway. They went and grabbed cupcakes. Yeah, right? Do you think they just do a throwaway like each episode, or like grab cupcakes?
I don't know. I think they want to throw like a local person in there, like just like the Newfoundland one and
that's a good point.
Moose Turds. They probably make a deal with these towns.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably something to do with having a local something. I don't know. Yeah, it felt really easy for the finals.
Well, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of discuss. Like, don't you think it was a little maybe too easy for the finals?
I mean, could they not take an extra cupcake for themselves too?
It would have been good cupcakes. I do think it's.
Can I have an extra? Have a 15th?
Can I get one? Can I have a little bit of a sugar rush over here? Because I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
I I thought it was cool. What I like about that, to your point, is that it's a kids party. So they are so excited. Like it's kind of nice and a little bit, a little bit of sappiness. So it's
I
kind of
wonder
nice.
if the person whose birthday it was works for like an executive at whatever channel this is on.
Well, I wonder if like the Chamber of Commerce of Collingwood must have like had some really great negotiating skills, because there was highlighting. Meeting. So anyway,
there was a meeting.
My only comment on that one seemed pretty easy. Then they head on over. Okay, but then now we're going to the
apples one's pretty hard.
You think that's hard
for apples? It's not easy.
I wouldn't want to bob for apples because my teeth. Like I have bad. Like I wouldn't want to chip it. I feel like I would chip a tooth or something. But again, it didn't. I don't know.
On an apple.
Yeah. I just get nervous about teeth. I know, Nick, but I just get a little nervous.
It'll be all right.
Bobbing for apples, it's like a kid's game. I don't think it's that hard, really.
You ever bob for apples?
Not since I was a kid.
Go ahead and give yourself a quick bob next time you got a bucket and some apples and some water.
I think the harder part
apples, like you can't use your hands, right? So you gotta grab an apple. I mean, you get it, but it's like, and then you gotta do like 10 of them. It's a lot.
I thought
you gotta figure out this math.
How do you think you would have handled the math?
I mean, I could do math. I can add things.
I'm not saying you can't do. I didn't say you couldn't do it, but it would be stressful because I thought Jesse and Jonathan would have been actually quicker than they were, and they're like kind of like
they just did bobbing for 10, 12 apples. Like that's a lot of bobbing.
So at this point, we're all kind of in the same order. So they do the apple bobbing, except Nippy and Magoo are kind of behind, and then we go to the roadblock. This looked fun. This roadblock. This was the
puzzle thing.
No, this is the surfing, like the body surfing, the electronic body surfing thing. Don't you think that looked like a lot of fun?
I've never seen those before. Yeah,
I've never seen that before. Like that was cool. I actually
I don't know. They need a bigger engine for me. I think I don't think I'd be able to go that far out and get back in time. I think we'd be bogging out.
They're pretty small. They were pretty small.
A lot of the challenges, I'm assuming, have a weight limit. So I'd be curious on how many of these I could do.
If they do have a weight limit, that's an interesting point.
I wouldn't go in and do it unless I lost some weight, but that thing going across the building, I guarantee it's a 300-pound weight limit. And that board, you better get a bigger engine on that board. Get me moving.
Well, and then they have to do that turn, and they were all struggling with the turn at the end. Stop.
Like me and DJ went on a CD together one time and almost sunk. So I think I could take one of those boards down.
Maybe
you just see my head in the water only like.
Actually, now I'm gonna look that up and see if there is a limitation on those. My only point about that one is it looked pretty fun. I would have liked to have done that one. So we're kind of like up until this point still we're all sort of in the same order as when we started. It's Jesse and John since like the first challenge. So it's Jesse and Jonathan, Grace and Joe, EB and Blake, Nippy and Magoo. Then they head on over for the final challenge, which is, I guess apparently they do this every year. It's the sort of decoding like different signs and putting them in order in which you race them. It would be hard. Like I think this would be kind of frustrating, but I think it's doable. Like it's not, I think it got more stressful for each of them as the other teams arrived. I think that's when it would get super stressful. And like it is 50 signs. So you really have to like really remember. Well, and even Jesse and Jonathan got really stuck on the 3 chairs. They kept thinking it was 3 chairs when it was actually that first challenge. And that threw them off for a long time.
Well, the thing is like 85% of it would be easy.
Yes.
It would be that 15% where you'd be like, oh, where is this? What's this mean? Like, yeah. So.
And the go, they put at the start, which I think I would have done the same. Like go, start the race. Yeah, that's true. How did you feel about that one, Nick?
That's the first time I've seen that challenge, I think. I liked it. It was fun. It looked fun. It looked like it'd be frustrating because there would be those 2 or 3. Plus, you're all screwed up from running around, right? There'd be those 2 or 3 you just can't get.
And you're so close to 250 grand. Like you're so close to the trip. You know what I mean? Like you're so close and everyone's there.
And whoever gets it first wins unless they get lost, which is
And no one gets lost. Actually, here's a takeaway. Which I have a few takeaways, but here's another takeaway. Now that all the cabs have GPS, it's not the same. So there's not much to say about that one. It was an interesting challenge. Jesse and Jonathan, and then so let's get back to it. Takeaway. My takeaway is now that like every cab driver has GPS, like there's no getting lost really like there used to be. I guess except when they're driving themselves. But if you're taking a cab, they should have had to drive themselves, Nick. That's what they should have had to do.
Yeah, driving themselves would have been a lot tougher.
Because like as soon as Jesse and Jonathan, they win, like they win the challenge, and then they just hop in a cab. So the cab has GPS, so they're gonna win. I mean, they show one point where they're like, "Are you going south? Are you going to like?" There's one point where
around or whatever.
They didn't like he had to do a U-turn, but that was it.
It was kind of anticlimactic ending. Let's just
Am I wrong about okay.
I mean, the puzzle was cool, the sign thing was cool, but then it was just like, oh, you won and you just get to the thing. Like there's no, it should have been more complicated to get to the bat.
At first thought, oh, they're saying it's 10 kilometers. Maybe it was, but maybe they have to walk part of the way. You know what I mean? Because like 10K, you could walk 10K. I'm like, maybe they have to walk part of the way and then get it. I just thought it would be more difficult. Like as soon as Jesse and Jonathan win and they're like, okay, so now they take a cab, they have to get themselves to Osler Bluff Ski Club. I'm like, well, they've won. Like, why are we? So it was a little bit like, oh, okay. But with that being said, I'm happy for them. They've been kind of like top of my list. Jesse and Jonathan.
First and second place were
my favorites.
Other than Evie and Blake, I liked all the ones in the top.
I want Blake as well.
They're too cocky.
They're young, but when I found out how young they were, like in their 20s, like, well done. I would have been happy with anybody winning that was in the finals. I was kind of rooting for Grace and Joe because I think they were dark horses. Like, I think they kind of were. Remember, they almost lost like the first leg. I think it took them time, and they kind of talk about it at the end where it's like to get to know each other again because they hadn't really spent any amount of time together for like 10 years. So I really liked them kind of getting to know each other. But, in terms of entertainment and high energy, like Jesse and Jonathan,
Did they bring that up at the start?
What? About Grace and Joe?
They never spent any time together or whatever?
Well, they haven't for 10 years. That was at the end of this episode. They talked about it.
Was that part of the story? Like, I don't remember them ever mentioning that.
I believe they said at the end that, they hadn't spent any. They've spent time together, just not like that much time in like 10 years, I thought they said. But maybe I'm wrong. You have me second guessing myself.
They mentioned it in this, at the end of the episode. They for sure talked about it on this. I just don't understand why that wasn't part of the storyline. This is the first time I think I heard it, unless I just missed it.
I missed it too. If they did talk about it.
Because they are different. They're very different.
They're very different personality. Well, I mean, we siblings are, but I mean, trying to get to know one another again and kind of learn each other's sort of idiosyncrasies and how to work together. This kind of, just to finalize the way, so Jesse and Jonathan win $250,000. They're very excited. Right. Of course, they win the
second place amount that they mentioned.
I don't know. I'll have to look. I think everybody gets something. Grace and Joe are second. Evie and Blake come in third. Nippy and Magoo, they're in last place, but like good on them. So let's talk about like any takeaways you might have had from watching this. I have a few takeaways. My first one is there's so much to see in Canada. Even though I wish they had kind of focused a little more on the nature in some of the locations, they did enough that it was super interesting to see all those different landscapes. And I think it might have been Evie and Blake. One of the pairs said like it's cool that we went to they went to smaller towns, which I complained about a bit, but I actually am glad. And my favorite place they went was Northwest Territories because it was just so unique.
Yeah, it just seemed like sometimes so sponsorship heavy that it affected the game.
I agree. I think that would be my biggest complaint.
Like, I mean, and they should have as many sponsors as they can. Yeah, just do stuff that they do in the town or whatever, and just have the sign up or whatever. And you know what I mean? Well, like, does the sponsorship have to be part of the challenge? Like, should they in that treetop? Should they really have been looking for the ingredients to fucking boost?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like
that's where
they go to the glasses store. They have to like do
they
something
have to do like a glasses puzzle. Yeah, I agree. I think like
some of that stuff was really cringe.
I agree, and that's what makes it so Canadian.
And because
it's a low production value.
The only thing that was kind of the selfie thing.
I like the selfie.
That's a good way to do it.
Thank you, because I think that was like it incorporated it,
and people,
and you get to meet
stuff,
people.
Right?
It's sort of the throwaway challenge, right? Maybe have it the throwaway challenge.
Like when they had to go out in the lake and get vinegar. I mean, what's going on here? what are we even doing right now?
Well, here's what I'll say. Not even.
It just sounded like they ran out of ideas and be like, Vinegar Lake.
Well, It wasn't even sponsored, Nick. It wasn't even sponsored. The Thousand Islands wasn't even sponsored by some salad dressing conglomerate. Yeah, so I don't understand.
I personally enjoyed watching it, and I'll probably watch it again next year.
But I need to see a higher production value. Like, come on, guys, watch. I don't remember the American one being so sponsorship heavy that they incorporate it weirdly into challenges. Like, they just had challenges.
Yeah, and again, they just call the challenge the thing that's sponsoring it, or whatever.
Yeah, it's the Fuse.
Or at the end of the challenge, you win a case of Blue Boost or whatever.
Yeah.
And then doing the boost upgrades for the money, like that's how you should do it.
Yeah.
But making a challenge based on the sponsor was strange in some of them. But I don't think they should have been some more helicopter shots of where they were. Survivor does it really well.
Yes.
Every time there's a start of something, you see landscape. Like every single time. And that's should have been like commercial break, landscape, and them doing their thing or whatever.
So listen, Amazing Race Canada, listen to our advice. We would love to come and work on your production crew and help you come up with ideas for challenges and how to incorporate the sponsorship in, because it doesn't have to be how you did it, because it made it a little weird. It was odd.
I mean, it just shows why Survivor wins the editing award for reality TVs on the Emmys every year. They're the best, but
it's deserved. Well, even I think what won the best reality show was Traitors, because the production value is absolutely amazing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you look at the production value. So the other thing, I have a couple sort of
sponsorship that they brought up.
Traitors. No.
Did you finish that show?
No, I never finished it. I should have.
Convoluted, that show.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. It's a little confusing. The caskets and everything. It's a different show. There's
just
so many it was hard to keep up each episode. I'm just like, what is happening? And there's hidden rooms, and there's
it's very strange.
There's this table where everybody's gonna argue. So confused.
But they're all lying. Maybe we'll try it another season when there's some people, another cast that we like.
Yeah, I might pick it up. I don't know who won.
Exactly. So
it was just a bit confusing. Amazing Race is pretty damn straightforward.
It's very straightforward, especially the Canadian version is very, very straightforward. I have a few other takeaways, and these are more like personal takeaways from this, right? So it's a race. There's always going to be ups and downs, so it's important to kind of work together. But one of the bigger takeaways I had is being nice and having integrity. Excellent, beautiful, wonderful qualities. However, you need boundaries. You need boundaries, right? So let's talk about that, right?
All the people that were super nice deserve to be kicked out, lose or whatever.
Not kicked
out, but they deserve to lose,
agree.
I should say.
I think that being nice, and I think Jesse and Jonathan were nice sometimes, so were Grace and Joe, but I think the important thing is to have a balance of niceness and boundaries, because I feel
you gotta pick your spots.
You've got to, that's what I'm saying. So I think the takeaway is be nice, but also, take the oxygen first on the plane. Take care of yourself, right?
100%.
Maybe that's not the right analogy, but you know what I'm saying. That was my next analogy. You got to take care of your team. You want to win. But you also I do think the infusion of integrity and kindness for humanity, there were some points where I thought that's nice, but I'm going to talk about Louis and Marie again quickly, because this was my most problematic episode. Is they literally lost just to sit and wait. They had already helped Lacey and Celia. They'd already helped them. They helped them. Go. You're the last two. Maybe if you're first two, anyway.
At that point, they should have just kicked off.
And the other thing, don't say everything out loud. Keep some stuff to yourself. Because there's been a couple.
Great advice for our next series that we're going to watch, Survivor.
I know. I think that I have this. This aligns, right? So don't, and in this case, it's much more of a tangible thing. You're actually in a competition. Don't give the answer. Don't say the answer out loud. Keep it in your head. Now on Survivor, it's a lot of don't say what's in your head. You know what I mean? It's not always a challenge. Just don't say what you're thinking.
Shit secret.
And those are kind of my takeaways. I think I do appreciate that it was Canadian, that there does seem to be a tiny bit more integrity, although almost too much sometimes. Boundaries. I enjoyed the show though, Nick. So thanks for suggesting it. Do you have anything else to add on? How it made did it make you proud to be a Canadian at all? I got to take.
They didn't have a lot of that. It didn't seem like they had a lot of that Canadian pride. The 9/11 thing, cool. I don't know.
But don't you think a more subtle, just being good people, maybe? No?
I think when they're assholes, it makes the show better.
Okay, well, it makes it more interesting.
And so do you.
Of course, I do. I love drama.
Look at Survivor, right? I'm
a reality show gal, Nick. I'm drama. thank you everybody for joining us on this journey of the Amazing Race Canada. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. Like, did you think it was weird? Like the sponsorships? What were your best takeaways?
I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Entire season.
I'd sit around there, 6, 7, maybe a little higher. Good series. I think if they made a few little tweaks, it would be a vast improvement, just like on just editing alone. Even if you do some of the weird challenges, just give us landscape shots, guys. Like, get a drone. God, like my old neighbor used to have a drone. Like, get a drone, just get some drone shots, actually. Come on, they're pretty cheap. You guys can do it. So either way, Nick, I had a lot of fun, like recording. We recorded almost every episode. I think you only missed one. Lots of fun. Thank you so much. Listen, everybody, again, go on, check out one of Nick's 2 podcasts, or both, Kayfabe Wrestling Talk and the Dirty Glass Podcast. Like, subscribe over there. Like and subscribe here. In the next 2 weeks, we will be recapping Survivor and possibly Amazing Race America. Right?
Did I
say that wrong? Did I say
I don't know what it's called. Amazing Race America. Yeah.
It's just,
well, they go all over the place in this one. That's why it's better.
Well, I guess Amazing Race.
I think it's just Amazing Race.
I just said America. Whatever, you know.
Well, because it's called Canada. I get it. It was just funny to me. I don't know why.
But
okay. Because they go to like all. That's what's cool about the Amazing. I found about the Amazing Race is you see a lot of crazy places in them in the American version.
That's why I said America. Anyway,
I mean, how many more seasons can they do in Canada? Are they just gonna are they gonna end up in freaking East Gwillimbury one time? Amazing Race, you gotta go to Tatlow's that hasn't been upgraded since 1982 and get yourself an Eggs Benedict and see who can eat the Eggs Benedict first, and then grab a clue, and then head over to the Pizza on Old Young Street in Holland Landing.
They could go to Bradford. There's a few more things in Bradford, Nick.
Hit Bradford. Go to Mexicanada. Can you eat this huge burrito in 2 minutes? Whatever.
That's where we're going tomorrow.
Go to the Walmart in Keswick and see if you can find the toilet paper that's on sale without another person bumping into your cart. Stuff like that.
Well, Nick, we should make up like a Amazing Race. Do you know what? Actually, my friend Janice, her husband, used to do like a version in Timmins of Amazing Race for the kids and their friends.
That'd be fun.
Like Amazing he used to do like York a whole region. Thing. Yeah. Trailer Park Boys version, you know. Anyway, everybody, thank you all for watching. Super appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Tune in a couple weeks where we are talking Survivor and most likely The Amazing Race, the original.
I think that might even start a week after. We'll figure it out. It'll all work out in the wash.
I almost ended it. Every time I go to end it. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.